last night I cut this and I thought, okay, I'm only going to do the last step. To grind it down with a 260, then a 600, took about half an hour to prep the graver, all the angles. Now remember, this started out as a 90-degree graver, and I've ground the back of it. Here's my original one. I've ground the back of it so that it's 120 degrees. All right. This is my wide graver for doing wide flare cutting. I've prepped this graver, the facets and the angles on it, for narrow cutting, which is going to be in my stainless knife and that sort of stuff. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Yeah, man. All right. So what you have at the moment is, you don't have a very good, excuse my voice, I've got a bit of a cold. You don't have a very good face on it. It's pretty much like what started in the other thread. You've got lines and scratch marks all over it. What happens with this is I move from that up there, once I've cut the base, which is used in this template. Okay, the template simply unscrews and it moves to this, so you don't need to do the first part again and again and again. You only do it once to prep the graver to the right degrees, and if you, by the time you get down to maybe halfway through the graver, you may need to prep it again. Right, so that's about a half an hour. Then the actual sharpening, this is a 2000 grit, so then I just run it on the 2000 grit a few times that way, and that's your face facet. Alright, when you turn it over, these are your heel facets, which is exactly right for a 120. So for the 120, I drag towards the tip both sides, just once like that, and then the same with the other one. Drag towards the tip. Let's have a look if I started enough of a heel on that. I think it could probably do with a bit more heel. Let's give it another drag. Alright, so let's go 3 times. The problem with too much heel, as anybody knows, is it drags its arse around the corners when you have too much heel. So, okay, you can kind of see the heel there. I'm thinking that's probably enough heel. I'll wipe it clean. My wife will kick my arse if she knows I just did that on my jacket. Right, so that side needs a bit more. Let's do this side. If you find that you're not getting enough purchase on the carbide, you might want to start with a higher amount for the heel. Are we there? Are we there yet? There we go. Perfect heel. All right. So this is the interesting. This is the interesting part, because there's a size difference between the stone and the diamond. You can either do all of that nonsense, and I had a chat with Steve Lindsay about it, and he sent me this, which basically is a hardened steel block at the right height. And essentially all I do is I find my diamond spray. I'm not going to spray it now, because what happens is, as you sharpen on it 3 or 4 times, you actually drive the diamond grit into the face of the metal. So the more you use it, the better it becomes, essentially. So I find I try not to use it too much. So if we look at that over there, let's see if I can get it focused. Okay, you can see that it's a pretty matte finish surface, alright. And so I'm going to polish the face. I'm going to polish the heel. And when I'm engraving, I'll do this probably once every 10 minutes or so, just to make sure. Now, for what it's worth, because I don't like taking the graver out of the quick release each time, I'm busy building myself a jig that I'm going to 3D print that allow me to put my graver straight into the jig and do this without removing it. Because I'm lazy, Mr. Guy. I don't like to work harder, I like to work smarter. People who work smarter make more money. It's the way to go. Alright, so let's see if I can find that polish for you. Okay, I think you can tell that we've got a beautiful polish on there. Alright, not that it really matters if you polish the face, what's important to polish is the heels. But anyway, that is a mirror polish on there, on that steel. And then we go to here, I just run that a few times. Remembering this is not steel, this is carbide at 0.5 micron grit. you're hardly removing any material here. You're basically shifting the material around to polish that heel. Let's take that off. And there we go, the perfect heel. When you cut with that, you're going to get a mirror finish cut. Alright? And you're not guessing if the geometry is right, you know the geometry right, it's exactly 120 degrees. So when your muscle memory starts working and you start working your way around pieces, you start to understand not every time you polish it you end up at a different angle on the face or a different angle on the heel. So this takes all the guesswork out of it. And then every now and then, if you want to cure it, I think as Gary was saying, where is it? That's my spray, just the diamond spray. And so that is that. I'll see if I can do some video of the face up close. If my wife saw me doing this, she's going to murder me. Things I do for you guys. I got that there. Come on, focus. Focus. Okay, so, see that? We're going to get a, where can I mirror something? It's hard to show you a mirror if I can't find anything to mirror it into. Anyway, trust me that is a, let's look straight at the point in the camera. See, oh, there we go. Alright, so there you have perfectly mirrored face. Alright. The heel is harder to see, of course, but you need to just trust me on this because the guesswork is out of it. It's right. Alright. Anyway, hope that helps, mate. Cheers. Okay, so I've mounted up the graver. Let me just turn on my machine. Okay, so I've mounted it up in the Lindsay. Maybe I'm going to get a better view of that face there. Is it going to focus? No, not really. So anyway, so the idea being, it's been a very long time since I tried running leaf, so just bear with me. Alright, so let's just find an area. Zoom it in a bit. Okay, so let's deepen that cut a bit. Okay, anyone will tell you trying to cut with a 120, cut straight lines with a 120 graver is not a fun job. Alright, so that's that out. Let's go to the next one. Pretty hard brass, this bloody thing. I was hoping to use this because it might be easier. Oops. That's how you end up with fingers bleeding. Normally it means you've chipped your point. I'm looking under the scope. It doesn't seem to be the case. It just means I've got a very long, tail, and that means my compressor just kicked in. Okay, so let's get those off there. Okay, now let's put the cut in. course, running leaf is what's used in quite a lot of jewellery. My implementation is pretty shitty, but you've got to bear with me. It's been a very long time since I've had to engrave it. Let's put some. Wow, that was a bit of a deep one, Mr. Botha. What's going on over there? Gee whiskers. And then, okay, I've used baby oil in here now to ease the cutting. So essentially you're just going to go in and just lightly go over your edges to get rid of all the little burrs. And then cut another little border up next to it if you can. It's too deep, Chris. Okay, I've definitely cut my heel a bit long. It's okay, live and learn. So we then go over to our friend, which is living down where? Which is living down here, or living down here, there we go. So go to that guy. Come on, you bugger. And we use the oldest trick in the book to hide bad setting and bad engraving. We run a mill grain over it. Generally, if your setter's told you that he thinks that a mill grain look better, it means he's stuffed up his bright cutting and you have nowhere to hide it. And you have a mill grain. Whoa. Squeeze it properly, Mr. Botha. Do the other way. Okay, so let's go back. Hammer for this. Whoa. Got a leak. I must have a leak. Ah, there we go. I've got a cut in the tube. Damn it. Never ends with bloody tools. Anyway, so let's just go. And that's basically that. So what we do, turn that lot off, fix the hose when I'm done with this, and just get yourself something to give it a bit of a wipe with, get all the burrs off. And let's see if I can zoom that in for you any better. Come on, focus. Doesn't want to focus any more than that. So anyway, as you can tell, that is super bright. Generally you don't need to polish this stuff, you can just give it a bit of a wipe with a polishing cloth like that, and you're done. I must be honest and say that achieving that bright look in stainless, in high-speed steel, very difficult. Okay. Anyway, so I hope that helped, mate. Cheers. Catch you later.